Hello friends and welcome. I'm Andy with Andy B Yoga. Today we'll be doing a 15-minute good morning flow, so when you're ready, come to standing at the top of the mat and let's begin. Ground down through your feet, bring your hands to heart center, and set an intention for today's practice. It can be anything, big or small, just something you can return to throughout your practice. Take an inhale in through your nose and let it out through your nose. Take another deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Release your hands. Step your right foot behind your left and across, grab onto your right wrist and pull over towards the left, stretching out the right side of your body. And then come back to center and switch left foot behind right and across, grabbing onto your left wrist and pulling over towards the right. Come to center, reach your hands up towards the sky, and then let them fall behind you, clasp them behind your back, and push your chest forward, stretching out your heart space. Release your hands to your side, and then reach up, inhale towards the sky, exhale, fold forward, coming to your first forward fold, bending your knees deeply, maybe bending one knee and then the other. Stretching out the back of your legs. And then on an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to high plank. Bring your knees to the mat, uncurl your toes, hug your elbows in and lower all the way down to the mat. Then roll your shoulder blades down your back, inhale up to cobra. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Inhale, shoulder blades up and down your back for cobra. Exhale, release. And then go ahead on your next inhale, push yourself back over your knees and find child's pose. And just take a moment here to breathe. And then come to a tabletop, finding a neutral spine, hugging your belly button in towards your backbone. And then inhale, drop your belly and find cow pose. Exhale, arch your back for cat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, arch your back for cat pose. One more. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest for cow. Exhale, round your back upwards for cat. And then come back to a neutral spine. Hug your belly in, and then bring your right shoulder towards your right hip, looking back. And then the other side, left shoulder to left hip, looking back towards your left hip. One more time on each side, right shoulder to right hip. And then left shoulder to left hip, and back to center. Then slowly walk your hands out in front of you for puppy pose, bringing your chest towards the mat and letting your hips stay right above your knees. Taking an inhale and exhale. And walk your hands back underneath you to tabletop, and we'll do a gentle spinal twist, reaching your left hand up towards the sky and threading it between your right hand and your right knee, bringing your left shoulder to the ground. Taking an inhale and an exhale, and then push into your right hand, bring your left hand to the mat. Reach your right hand up towards the sky and thread it in between your left hand and left knee, bringing your right shoulder to the mat. Taking a deep breath in and letting it out. And then push into your left hand and bring your right hand back to the mat. Find your neutral spine and walk your hands out in front of you again, dropping your chest and keeping your hips above your knees for another puppy pose. Take an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then gently start to walk your hands back underneath you to tabletop. Curl your toes under and push your hips back for your first downward facing dog. Take a moment, maybe walking out your dog, bending one knee and then the other, opening up your hamstrings, being gentle with yourself. And then look forward and step your feet up towards your hands, finding a gentle forward fold. maybe clasping opposite hands to opposite elbows and finding a rocking or swaying motion, maybe shaking your head yes or no. And then release your hands back to the mat, bending your knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach your hands up and over your head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale, your hands up over your head. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your feet back towards the back of the mat. Bend your elbows in towards your body for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push your hips back for downward facing dog. And next we'll do some rolling plank to down dog transitions in 2 directions. First, you'll bring yourself forward to plank and then bend your knees and push your hips back to down dog. Again, forward to plank, bend your knees, push yourself back to down dog. Forward to plank, bend your knees, and then push your hips to down dog. And then we'll reverse, bending your knees, push forward to plank, and back up into down dog. Bend your knees, push forward to plank, lift yourself back to down dog. Bend your knees, push forward, and push your hips back for downward facing dog. Find a moment of stillness. Then on your next inhale, raise your right heel up towards the sky for 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, and then step it through towards your right thumb. Drop your left knee to the mat, uncurl your toes, and bring your hands on top of your right knee, finding a low lunge. Inhale, your hands up alongside your ears, finding a micro back bend. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, curl your left toe under, step your right foot back to meet your left, and then push back into down dog. Inhale, your left heel up to 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee and pivot your hip open. Inhale, come back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, hug your left knee to your nose and step it through to your left thumb. Let your right knee come to the mat. Bring your hands on top of your left knee and find your low lunge. Inhale, your arms up along the sides of your ears, bringing your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Push back to a downward facing dog, and then we'll do a Chaturanga Dandasana, rolling forward to plank, hugging your elbows in towards your rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push yourself back into a downward facing dog. Look forward and start to tiptoe up towards the front of your mat, towards your hands. And then find a forward fold, bending your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, your arms up above your head. Then exhale your hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, your hands up over your head. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, and find your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push your hips back for downward facing dog. We'll take 3 inhales and exhales. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale. Now inhale your right heel to 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Inhale back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow, and then step your right foot outside of your right hand for lizard pose. Drop your left knee, uncurl your left toes, and let your right foot peel off the mat towards the outer edge of your foot, and let your right knee fall off to the outer edge of your mat, coming down to your elbows, stretching out your inner thighs and hips, and push back into your hands. Bring your right foot back to the mat, curl your left toes under, and step your right foot back to meet your left in downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot up to three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. And step your left foot outside of your left hand, bringing your right knee to the mat, uncurling your toes, and finding lizard pose on your left side. Feeling the sensation in your left hip, stretching out the quad on your right. Then push into your hands, bring your left foot back to the mat, curl your right toes under, and step your left foot back to meet your right in downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then look forward and tiptoe your way up to the top of the mat to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale your arms up over your head. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step your feet back, and find your version of Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll find 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Then bring your knees to the mat and sit back. We'll do 2 rounds of camel pose to stretch out the front of our body and chest. Come up onto your knees, bring your hands to your lower back, draw your elbows together and arch backwards, maybe letting your hands fall to your heels, pushing your hips forward, and maybe letting your head fall. Remembering to breathe. Then bring your hands back up to your lower back, let your hips sink towards your heels, and then walk your hands forward for a child's pose. And walk your hands back up, and we'll do 1 more round of camel, coming back up onto your knees, bringing your hands to your lower back and arching backwards, maybe bringing your hands to your heels or leaving them on your lower back, pushing your hips forward and letting your head fall, remembering to breathe. Then bring your hands again to your lower back, let your hips sink towards your heels and come forward into your child's pose. Take an inhale and an exhale, and then gently walk yourself back up and make your way to a seated position. Bringing your legs out in front of you, we'll do some gentle seated twists. Lay your left leg long on the mat and hug your right knee in, wrapping your left arm around your right knee and twist towards the right. And then switching arms, wrapping your right arm around your right knee and twisting towards the left. And then gently let your right leg extend and hug your left knee in towards you. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and twist towards the left. And then switch, wrapping your left arm around your left knee and twisting towards the right. And then release your left leg. Bend your knees and bring both feet to the mat. And then grab onto the back of your thighs and slowly lower down to your back, extending your legs out to the corners of your mat and just finding a deep breath in and out. Then hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then we'll move into a supine figure 4, bending your left leg, crossing your right ankle over your left knee, and grabbing onto the back of your left thigh, hugging your legs in towards your body, feeling the sensation in your right hip. And then cross your right leg completely over your left and let them fall towards the left-hand side, extending your right arm out long, finding a supine twist, keeping your right shoulder to the mat. Inhale, bring your legs up to center, uncross your legs. We'll switch sides, hugging your left knee in towards your chest, and then we'll find figure 4 on the other side, bringing your right knee in, crossing your left ankle over your right knee and grabbing on to the back of your right thigh. And then crossing your left leg completely over your right and letting your legs fall over towards your right as you look out over your left hand, trying to keep your left shoulder to the mat. And on an inhale, bring your legs back up to center, let them uncross, and then hug your knees in towards your chest, maybe drawing circles with your knees. And push your heels up towards the ceiling, flexing your feet, drawing your toes back towards your body, finding fountain pose, a gentle inversion to end your practice. And then bend your knees back in towards your chest, maybe bringing your nose in towards your knees, giving yourself one last big hug, and extend your legs out to the corners of your mat. Bring your palms out beside you, finding your final resting pose for Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in and letting it out. Finding a moment of stillness at the end of your practice. And when you're ready, bend your knees. Start to roll off to one side, supporting your head with your arm, finding the pose of a dreaming child. And then when you're ready, push back up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center, return to your intention, and thank yourself for practicing today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Until next time, take care.